Hey guys, welcome back to the episode of Jay's Flicks, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Wizards of Waverly Place reboot series called Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, of course starring David Henry, back as Justin Russo, who is taking the lead role here in this, reimagining, spinoff of Wizards of Waverly Place, which was one of Disney Channel's most successful shows, in their run and of the 2000s, early 2000s to mid 2000s, to 2010s. It was one of my favorite shows. Personally, I loved it. And I actually, funny thing enough, on those of you who have been watching this podcast for a while, you know that I dropped a video a couple months ago about saying that they should do a Wizards of Waverly Place reboot. And not too long after, one of my friends sent me something on Instagram like, "Hey, they're I guess they listened to you. Disney's doing a reboot of Wizards of Waverly Place." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. I predicted that. I did." So yeah, guys, I totally called this. Like I said it, like like I said months ago. I said that Wizards of Waverly Place was going to reboot, and they did, and it was kind of good. It wasn't bad. I'll get into it here in a second, but make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Check us out here on YouTube and also on other podcast platforms, Spotify, all that good stuff. So if we're there, just make sure you check us out. And like I said, got a lot more content planned for you guys coming up here in the next couple of days. So just stay tuned for that. But yeah, like I said, let's get started. So this takes place, present day, so this is when a little over 10 years since the last Wizards of Waverly Place episode where Alex and Justin both got to keep their powers. Alex became the family wizard. Justin, of course, went to WizTech to become the head of WizTech after Professor Crumbs, retired. But where we pick up right now in this reboot, Justin has married a mortal, so he had to give up his powers. Just, that's, if you guys remember from the original show, that's what happens when a wizard marries a mortal. They have to give up their powers. Saw Jerry do it when he married Teresa. And Justin had to do it here. He married this woman named Giada, and they had two kids. Roman, who was like just a younger version of Justin, pretty much, and that was one of my only downsides with this spinoff is that Roman's character is just too much like Justin, and it did get annoying sometimes, because Justin's one of those. He's like, he's very uptight. He's strict. He's like, like this about a lot of stuff, right? And it worked in Wizards in the original, because he had Alex. You had Alex there, who was the main focal point of the show, to kind of like balance that off, right? But with Justin being the focal point of this series, that's the main, that's the main character. That's the main character energy that we're getting. Like that's because he is the rock of the show, being the main character now. So that's kind of like what the main vibe that it sets, so to speak. And that's just. But his younger son, who Milo, a little bit different. Of course, he's out there. I'll probably compare him to Max, so he's a little bit like his uncle. He's got that carefree kind of attitude, that the brightest tool in the box, but he likes to have fun. So that's it. But then first episode picks up, Alex returns, so Selena Gomez makes a guest appearance. This is the only episode that she would appear in for the 9 episodes of this reboot. But she makes a guest appearance, and Alex comes in and brings this young wizard named Billy, who is apparently a very powerful young wizard, but needs to be, put in line. She can be a little bit of a troublemaker. She's very, basically a younger version of Alex. And she wants Justin to come and teach her. Justin originally is hesitant to do so because he wants to leave his magic past behind him. Now that he is a middle school principal now, and he is also married a mortal, had a family. And he got fired from WizTech. So now he was trying to kind of forget that, leave that in his past, right? Alex is like, yeah, well, you're the best teacher I know, blah, blah, blah. And they make a lot of good callbacks to the original. I will say, like, they do a good job of keeping up the continue. Sorry about the noise, guys. I'm in downtown Atlanta. They do a good job of keeping up the. They do a good job of keeping like the continuous storyline, like elements from the original show, like of course mentioning like you know making those callbacks to how Alex was used to be, how Justin, would be there to always kind of teach her things and kind of correct her on a lot of stuff. She had him and their dad, Jerry. So they made a lot of good references there. You know, things like that. I mean, if you watch the first Wizards of Waverly Place like show, if you watch the original, then you'll catch some of those things. But as far as like it's spoilers. So if you haven't watched it yet, you need to go watch it. It's 9 episodes streaming on Disney Plus right now. Um, but through 9 episodes, yeah, we do see as far as like guest appearances. Alex, of course, in the first episode. Jerry comes back in episode 7. Um, it's interesting how they brought him back. I like it. It was a unique way to integrate him into the story. And Max does not appear in these first 9 episodes. So we don't see Max. I don't know if JT Austin is even coming back at all to this to this program. I don't last I heard he kind of like left Hollywood for a while, like after 2015 or so. He acted in some other things after Wizards. And I'm not sure if he'll come back to the reboot, but overall, like I said, it's just still got that family-friendly type of sitcom feel, like Disney Channel shows have. It's more obviously since it's set in 2024 in the modern time, it's going to cater to the social cultural elements of this time period, right? Of now where we are. So you're going to have those, you know like it's technology centric, right? And you're gonna have things like that. It's not gonna have the same old feel that it did when we watched the show, when we watched Wizards of Waverly Place when it came out in 2007 and ran to like what 2012. So that was a different kind of time than what we're in right now, of course. And they do cater to this. They're trying to cater to the new younger audiences, as a lot of reboots and spinoffs do. And like I said, I mean, it's not horrible. Like I liked it overall. It's not a bad reboot. I like it. It's just it takes a while to get used to. Just like I said, you're Justin being, like I said, being the main character, being the main focal point. He is like Billy is also a good. They're a good 1-2 punch. She is of course staying with the family, and she's learning under Justin as as he agrees to teach her, to be her wizard teacher and stuff. So she's making mistakes on the way and stuff like that. So it's that type of thing. And she's a good comedic relief. But sometimes they made her try a little too hard with some of the sarcastic remarks and stuff. You can see it coming a mile away, all that. Like but I mean, it's a Disney sitcom, so it's like I can't have super high expectations for it. And like I said, it wasn't like awful, compared to some of the other reboots we've seen come out recently, like the iCarly reboot, for example. There's some other things that have come out like that as well. But this does a decent job, keeping those ties to the original, but also reinvigorating a story in a different way, and catering to a different set of audience, which is what you have to do now to remain to keep relevancy. For those things that you want to stay relevant, because it's not enough to just rely on nostalgic crowd, like the older crowds, nostalgia. You're gonna have to kind of cater to the younger and upcoming crowds too, and that's essentially what I feel like they were trying to do with Wizards Beyond Waverly Place here. So. And it left off with an interesting cliffhanger. I won't get too much into that. So but 9 episodes so far. I don't know if there's going to be like more coming out in the next couple of months, or how they're going to. I don't know how they're going to do it. I guess like since it just did come out yesterday, they're going to give it some time, let it marinate, let people watch it and stuff, and see how viewership goes. And if it's good, then maybe we'll get a green light for more episodes. Another season. if they decide to just keep 9 episodes, that's like the length of a season. So if that's the case, then probably get season 2. Um, but if it doesn't do well, then maybe that's all we'll get. So I mean, even though I do hate when shows leave off on cliffhangers like that. See, this is the problem with the iCarly reboot. They left it off on a cliffhanger. That wasn't a good idea. They canceled the show after 2 seasons. But this, I hope it does not do that because it has potential. The storyline did get a little interesting towards the end as far as like, with the cliffhanger they left it off on, and there is like a behind the back like type of storyline that is kind of playing out. It's just not in the forefront. It's not mentioned too much. It's mentioned like in the beginning, like in the first episode, and then kind of like maybe in the midpoint of the season. And then, of course, in the final episode 9, is when it's really like we see that cliffhanger about this continuous storyline that's kind of been on the back burners, but it's still present. It's still there. I overall good thoughts about it. I give it like maybe if I had to give it out of a 10 like ranking, like for between 1 and 10, I would say this reboot would probably be a 7 and a hour. Well, yeah, I think a 7 out of 10 would be like, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair rating. Nostalgia wise, like I said, acting was pretty good. Billy's actress was very good. Of course, David Henry doing a great job coming back as Justin, still capturing the essence of Justin Russo. It feels like he has. It's this like we were right where we left off over 10 years ago, which is another good thing. How the cast was able to kind of get back into that. Well, at least Justin and Alex, and then Jerry when he came in the episode. But overall, good thoughts. So I would encourage you guys, go watch it. I mean, it's a fun little watch. You want to laugh a little bit, and just kind of feel the nostalgia. If you're a Wizards fan growing up, go watch it. It's available to stream on Disney Plus right now. Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. And those are my thoughts. So we'll see you guys next time on Jay's Flicks.